Just like with live action, animation is known to have leading couples or romance couples in the shows and movies. Take Disney, for example. Where would a leading man like Mickey be without Minnie? Where would a leading man like Donald be without Daisy? Goofy without Clarabelle? Max without Roxanne? Well, the same could be asked for Hanna-Barbera's breakout star, the very first breakout star, Yogi Bear. Yogi, who was created in 1958 as a part of the Huckleberry Hound show and then given his own show a couple years later, never had a leading lady, so that question was never really associated with him. That is until 1961, when his show debuted. In that time, both Joe Barbera and Bill Hanna decided to give Yogi a leading lady. And that leading lady turned out to be none other than Cindy Bear. Now you might ask yourself, who is Cindy Bear? Well, Cindy Bear, as I mentioned, originally debuted and was introduced in the Yogi Bear cartoon short, Acrobatic Bear. Here she was introduced as a former resident of Jellystone Park who had grown up with Yogi, but as they grew up, decided to pursue a career in the circus. Later on, when she appears in the other Yogi Bear shorts like A Wooin' Bruin and Yogi's Birthday Party, the 30-minute finale, she is now seen once again as a resident of Jellystone Park. However, Cindy, along with Yogi and Boo Boo and Ranger Smith, after the finale, would not be seen in an all-new adventure for the next 2 years. Because in 1964, 2 years after the series had ended, Cindy, along with Yogi, Boo Boo, and Ranger Smith, made the return. To animation, but this time in Hanna-Barbera's first ever theatrical feature film, Hey There, It's Yogi Bear. However, unlike Yogi, Boo Boo, and Ranger Smith, whose character designs were slightly altered and well-rounded and more improved, Cindy was given a complete makeover and went from being the Cindy that you had seen earlier with the blue fur, the bonnet hat, the necklace and the neck dress and whatever, and went to being the Cindy Bear that we now know and love. A Cindy Bear whose colors matches that of Yogi and Boo Boo's, and doesn't have the bonnet hat anymore, although occasionally back in the 70s it did appear when she was a part of the Laugh Olympics team, the Yogi Yahooies. But aside from that, other things were different about her as well. For example, the little neck dress that she had was replaced by an ascot, a yellow ascot that is. And her green dress was replaced by a blue dress. The blue dress, in my opinion, representing and being a reference to her old color design back when she first was introduced. Now Cindy, believe it or not, was portrayed as the typical lover slash girlfriend that was willing to do anything she could to help out her boyfriend and stand by her man, basically. As a matter of fact, in Hey There, It's Yogi Bear, Cindy Bear, she would go as far as to basically take the blame for a crime that she didn't commit. What I mean is that Yogi, unknown to the Ranger and to Cindy and Boo Boo, had not really left for San Diego like he was originally supposed to. Instead, he had tricked someone else into taking his place and basically began a sort of a crime spree, if you will, of picnic baskets and food by being known as the Brown Phantom. Cindy, overhearing the Ranger telling the Bears that once he finds out who the Brown Phantom is, he's going to ship him to the San Diego Zoo, decides that she's going to take the rap for it because she believes, along with Boo Boo, that Yogi is in San Diego. It isn't until later on that she finds out that isn't going to San Diego, but instead to St. Louis. Now don't worry, Cindy does reunite with Yogi and finally finds out from Yogi that he feels the same way about her as she does about him. Now Cindy would also make occasional appearances after the movie as well in other animated series. As I mentioned earlier, she was a part of the Yogi Yahoo's team in Laugh Olympics. But she was also appearing in other Yogi Bear cartoons as well. As a matter of fact, in 1973, during the run of Yogi's Gang, she appeared in 2 to 3 episodes. One of the first episodes, she was part of a homecoming at Jellystone Park for Yogi and his friends. The second time we see her, she inherits a dude ranch somewhere in the Midwest. Now, after that, Cindy would not make another appearance in a Yogi or Hanna-Barbera show, with the exception of the 3 that I mentioned, until the mid-1980s. Well, actually, it wasn't until the early 1980s, Christmas 1980 to be exact, that Cindy would make her return to television in Yogi's Christmas movie, Yogi's First Christmas. But then after that, Cindy wouldn't appear with Yogi and Boo Boo until 1985 in the Yogi's Treasure Hunt episode To Be or Not to Be. Then later on after that, 3 years later, she would appear with Yogi and Boo Boo and Ranger Smith in an all-new revampation of the Yogi Bear show. But this time, it didn't have secondary characters like Snagglepuss and Yankee Doodle. Instead, all the cartoons that you watched on the new Yogi Bear show were mostly Yogi, Boo Boo, and Cindy and Ranger Smith related. Now, Cindy would make one last movie appearance in the television movie Yogi and the Invasion of the Space Bears, which was her only telefilm appearance. It's actually not her only telefilm appearance, but her second telefilm appearance. Excuse me about that. Excuse me. Now, after that, Cindy would make another appearance, but this time a few years later, when Hanna-Barbera decided to take their teenage series that they had been making on all the Hanna-Barbera characters and make Yogi and his friends into one as well, thus giving Cindy a newer, more modern 90s look and giving her a new voice actress in that of Cat Sushi. Cindy was a part of the Laugh Squad at the Jellystone Mall, basically the lost and found detective agency. Also in Yo Yogi, Cindy was given a rival in Roxy Bear. Overall, for those that don't know who Cindy is, Cindy Bear is basically Hanna-Barbera's answer to characters like Minnie Mouse and Daisy Duck. However, unlike Minnie and Daisy, she's more understanding at times, and she's willing to go, as I mentioned, willing to go out of her way to be with the one that she loves. So I hope that helps out for those that don't know who Cindy Bear is. And if you want to know more about her, I suggest you tune into Boomerang if you got it. Go out to your local video store, rent Hey There It's Yogi Bear, or go on certain video sites and try to find the Yogi Bear shorts with her in them. Because I guarantee, when you finally see who she is, you'll understand. So until next time, God bless and take care.